When President Putin ordered the invasion of Ukraine, he provoked global outrage. But some countries have refused to condemn the offensive, and a few have even supported it.
The result of the vote is as follows.
In early March 2022, world leaders voted on a UN resolution to demand the end of the war in Ukraine. 141 countries voted in favour, but 5 voted against the move and 35 abstained. The 5 countries who voted against the motion, essentially supporting Russia, were Belarus, Syria, North Korea, Eritrea and Russia itself. Belarus is a major ally of Putin's in the region, with President Alexander Lukashenko backing him from the start. Russia propped up Syria's Assad regime in its civil war and still has forces there. And North Korea and Eritrea are both ruled by anti-American dictatorships, so were unwilling to support any pro-Western motion. Russia's also historically opposed Western sanctions in Eritrea. China and Russia say they want to lead a new world order.
中俄合作无上限，我们争取和平无上限，维护安全无上限，反对霸权无上限。
But the Ukraine conflict is testing that relationship. China is caught between supporting an ally and its long-standing rule that one country should not interfere in the internal affairs of another. It says Russia's security concerns are legitimate and refuses to condemn the invasion, but it also abstained in that UN vote.
我们一贯主张，对华谈判是解决乌克兰危机的唯一正确途径。
China's also scrutinizing what happens in Ukraine for reasons closer to home. It wants to seize the island of Taiwan and sees Ukraine as a test of Western resolve in a possible precursor to what might happen in the East.
妥善地处理两岸关系，避免真的走向类似于乌克兰这样的有可能的这样的一个情形。
India also abstained in the UN vote. Russia and India have a close history. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Putin have kept that up. India relies on Russian military supplies, but the war has also put India in a bind. It sees both Russia and the US as key allies. India has tried to stay neutral about the Ukraine invasion, calling for sovereignty to be respected, but also for Russia's security concerns to be addressed. But since the UN vote, there have been signs that India is becoming more supportive of Ukraine, sending humanitarian aid, and Prime Minister Modi making a number of calls to Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. Of the 35 abstainers in that UN vote, 17 came from Africa. Many have just wanted to stay neutral, but others have openly supported Russia. Countries like the Central African Republic and Mali have close ties with Russia, with Russian mercenaries helping their respective governments fight insurgents. South Africa has refused to condemn the invasion, with President Cyril Ramaphosa criticising NATO over the conflict. The son of Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni even tweeted that the majority of mankind that are non-white support Russia's stand in Ukraine. The legacy of the Cold War is also playing a role. Russia supported other movements that overthrew Western-backed governments in countries like Algeria, Mozambique and Zimbabwe, and it's built infrastructure and provided aid and military equipment. That soft power approach could now be paying off. When Putin invaded Ukraine, it was widely thought he sought to undermine NATO and the West. But ironically, it's done the opposite, uniting Europe and forcing even famously neutral countries like Switzerland to take a stand. President Putin may have hoped that this invasion would forge a new world order. He may have won some support from old allies, but the final outcome of this conflict could be Russia emerging as a vassal state of China, and the West appearing stronger than many had expected.